Welcome back to another rebuild I got for you guys here today. Today I'm going to be doing a fantasy draft rebuild of the Indianapolis Colts. But before I get into this rebuild, I want to mention something. So if you guys haven't noticed, I just recently hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you guys very much for that, but I will be thanking you more in a later video. Instead of commenting a word for this one, I would like you guys to comment some questions because I'm going to be doing another question and answer video. I did one for 1,000 subscribers and I liked how it turned out, so I want to do one again. So the questions can be like personal, they can be football related, it doesn't really matter. If I don't get to every question in the video, which is very likely, I really doubt I'll be able to get to every question, I will respond my answers like just to the comment on this video. So every question will pretty much be answered if I want to answer it. If it's like too personal or something, or just a question I don't really want to answer, I probably won't. Also, let me mention that the coach's name for this one is Michael Scott, and the reason for that is somebody suggested I make that my coach name. Also, I'm a really big Office fan. That's like my favorite show. I would say up there, number 1 or number 2, Scrubs might be my best. That's a great show if you guys haven't seen that either. Or if you haven't seen The Office, definitely watch one of those. Anyway, though, or both, doesn't matter. Let's start this fantasy draft. What pick do we have? Sounds like a later pick. 30th. It is a much later pick, but I'm okay with that. I think the past couple drafts I've had pretty early picks, so it's going to be cool to see who we get at pick number 30. I'm going to advance to the end of the draft. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to show you guys who I get there, but I'll see you with the team. I am now at the end of the draft. I have not yet looked at the team. Let's see who we have. Alex Smith is our quarterback. I'm probably going to be trading him. I'm pretty sure I know that much. Colin Kaepernick is our backup. Leonard Fournette, though, is our running back. That is awesome. I love to have Leonard Fournette. We also have Jonathan Stewart, Tim Hightower, and Chris Johnson. What's Chris Johnson's speed looking like? 92. Disrespectful. They should give him higher speed, I think. Sammy Watkins, Cooper Kupp, Cordero Patterson. Not horrible receivers, but still not fantastic. I want Cooper Kupp to play the slot. This offensive line isn't all that great. Russell Bodine, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif are probably the best players to have for a rebuild out of everyone here. I mean, Russell Bodine isn't great, but, you know, Tardif usually develops pretty well. Richie Incognito's not bad, but he's pretty old. I'm probably going to trade him. Vance McDonald, Adam Shaheen, okay tight ends, I guess. I mean, Adam Shaheen is a rookie. What about on the defense? Kenny Vaccaro, Tayshaun Gibson, pretty decent safeties, I guess. Jabal Sheard is our left outside linebacker. I might shift him down to defensive tackle and then run a 4-3 because we have Vontaze Burfict, who's definitely a 4-3 guy. We have Perry Riley Jr. and Brandon Marshall. I can probably slide Brandon Marshall out to... Actually, I'll probably keep him at middle, and maybe Perry Riley Jr. I'll slide out to left out. Jonathan Hankins, Sheldon Rankins, and Shelby Harris, right? Yeah, Shelby Harris. Not terrible defensive lineman, I guess. Bradley Roby and Chris Harris, very good corners. I'll take it. Steven Nelson isn't horrible either, so I'm going to get into some trades here. Bobby Massey, Alex Smith, and a 4th round draft pick for Brandon Linder. Vernon Butler and Jonathan Stewart for the Dolphins draft pick. Now, the Dolphins actually have a really good team, so I feel like this draft pick is going to be pretty bad, but they were the only team interested in Vernon Butler. Vance McDonald, Richie Incognito, and Will Blackman for the Patriots' 1st round draft pick. I did not expect that to go through, but I'm giving the Jets D4, Tim Hightower, and Zach Line for their 1st rounder. Shelby Harris, a 3rd round draft pick next year, and Chris Johnson for Tony Jefferson. I feel like I never get this player, but he's really not that bad. I'm giving the Ravens William Golston, Kenny Vaccaro, and Joe Walker for their 1st rounder. This is what the team is going to look like for the first season. It's really not all that bad. There's only like a couple pieces I'm going to need to draft, like quarterback. But I mean, I've won the Super Bowl in the past with Colin Kaepernick as my quarterback, so there's a chance, to be honest. Leonard Fournette is, of course, the running back still. Sammy Watkins, Cordero Patterson, Cooper Kupp have not changed there. The offensive line is a little bit better. Actually, I would probably say it's worse, because we did lose Richie Incognito, but we did gain Brandon Linder, so maybe it's kind of like the same. I shifted Russell Bodine to left guard. Hurst is playing center. Duvernay-Tardif is still playing right guard. And Jordan Mills is playing right tackle. Yeah, that is your name. I always want to say Jalen Mills, of course, because he's on the Eagles. Adam Shaheen is the starting tight end. And then on defense, we got Tony Jefferson and Tayshaun Gibson as the safeties. Chris Harris and Bradley Roby are the starting corners still. I never really go after Tony Jefferson, but he's really not that bad of a player, and he's still rather young, so I hope he can develop well. Vontaze Burfict is the right out, Brandon Marshall's the middle, Perry Riley Jr. is the left. Jabal Sheard is up to a 95 at right end, that's pretty awesome. We also have Jeremiah Tauchu on this team, so he's playing left out, not left out, to left end. Jonathan Hankins and Sheldon Rankins are the starting defensive tackles. So this D-line's actually pretty good. I might just have to draft like a left end or something if a Tauchu doesn't pan out. But I'm going to adjust the sliders, and I'll see you at the midseason. We are 3-5 at the midseason mark, and the Texans are 5-2. We are in third. The Jaguars are also 5-2, and the Titans are 1-6. Leonard Fournette has 8.6 thousand experience, which is always nice to see. And then over here on the defense, 4.6 thousand for Brandon Marshall, 5.7 thousand from Chris Harris. I hope he's having a good year. Sam Cook is the only player it looks like that I might negotiate with. I mean, he's 35 years old. Matt Bryant is 42 years old. I'm going to let both of these guys go. I'm sure I can get a better kicker and better punter in free agency. I will bring back Russell Bodine, though, because he's currently starting. And if I draft a better player than him, I can always just trade him. James Hurst, I am going to let go because I'm confident I can at least draft a 74 overall center, and I don't think I'm going to bring back anyone else. We did not make the playoffs, but I fully expected that after the midseason mark. We went 6-10, so did the Titans. The Texans were 8-8, and the Jaguars were 13-3. That kind of looks like the normal division whenever you just sim, you know, without doing a fantasy draft. 1-3 in the preseason. Won the opening game, lost 2, beat the Seahawks, lost 3, beat the Bengals and the Texans, lost 4, I think. We beat the Broncos, lost to the Ravens, and then beat the Texans. So we actually beat the Texans twice. That's pretty interesting. Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. The Jaguars had a stacked team. I do remember this now. Colin Kaepernick really didn't play too terribly for being such a low overall. Leonard Fournette got over 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns. Kind of wish he had more yards, but it's alright. Receiving, Cooper Kupp actually went off. 1,322 yards and 9 touchdowns. Sammy Watkins got 10 touchdowns. Adam Shaheen only got 2. Cordero Patterson only got 3. Not bad seasons, though, from Watkins and from Cooper Kupp. 23 sacks lit up from Brandon Linder is actually pretty tragic. 151 tackles, though, from Brandon Marshall isn't terrible. 127 from Vontaze Burfict. 12 tackles for loss for Jonathan Hankins. We got 9 sacks from Jabal Sheard, 8 from Sheldon Rankins, and then not much from anyone else. I really thought Jabal Sheard would play a little bit better. 2 picks from Vontaze Burfict, Tony Jefferson, Perry Riley Jr., and Chris Harris Jr. 1 from Bradley Roby, Brandon Marshall, Steven Nelson, Tayshaun Gibson, and Daniel Sorensen. Any touchdowns? We did not get any. So we were 24th in the NFL in offense. Defense was probably not much better. It's probably worse, to be honest. 19th. Okay, so it was a little bit better, I guess. Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. We already saw that, though. I don't think there's anybody from the Colts in there. I didn't really expect to see anyone. Case Keenum makes it. That's interesting. AFC Offensive Player of the Year does go to Aaron Rodgers. Nobody from the Colts. Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody from the Colts. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Leonard Fournette, Cooper Kupp come in at number 5 and number 6. But Mitchell Trubisky actually won. I feel like Cooper Kupp should be higher. He had a really good season. Nobody else from the Colts. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't even think we had anyone, you know, worth mentioning starting. But let's check out the offensive experience. I hope Cooper Kupp made a Pro Bowl. He only has 11,000 experience. He did not make a Pro Bowl, but he had a great year. 18K from Leonard Fournette, 10,000 from Sammy Watkins, 14K from Adam Shaheen. Really isn't that bad. And then on defense, 11K from Brandon Marshall, 11K from Vontaze Burfict, 10K from Sheldon Rankins and Chris Harris. Really not too much. So far, the only notable thing that happened in free agency is that I signed Cairo Santos. I also went after Riley Dixon as a punter, and he did not accept yet. Riley Dixon also accepted my offer. Oh, Madden's really creative, aren't they? Everett. This guy's going to be horrible, but I might draft him at some point just because of his name. I'm going to be trading my first pick away with the Browns, I think, to acquire the 29th overall pick and the 61st overall pick. I'm okay with that, because there is some pretty good late-round talent. And not late round, I guess, but like late first, early second round there. There's some pretty good players, so maybe I can take them all. But now I have the 14th pick. I think I might be going with a corner if he is still here. All of the corners I wanted got drafted. I have 5 more first-round draft picks. But that's okay. I think I can take all of these second-round players, too. A lot of these guys look good. I mean, there's a lot of overlapping positions, so I probably won't take them all. But I'm going to start off with a trade. I'm definitely going to start off with a trade, because I don't need this 14th overall pick, because I have the pick right after. So let me get something for next year. I don't want anything else for this year. Be nice if I can find all next year's stuff. That's pretty close. It's a first-rounder from the Rams, and then a third this year. Keep looking, though. I mean, I don't know how bad the Browns actually are. Also, I don't know how bad the Rams actually are. I'm going to take this with the Saints. There's actually some pretty good value here. Now I'm going to be selecting a corner. Nope, probably not a corner. A quarterback. So, let me just show you this quarterback class. So, before I was able to see the combine grades, everybody was supposed to be horrible except for this guy. This was the only guy that remained a first-round talent. He actually moved up. He was supposed to be a second-round talent, and he moved to the first. But this guy, Puslesny and Burbank, were both, like, fourth-round projections. McDaniel and Pitcock were, you know, both third-round projections. Like, no one looked that good in this draft except for Reed Sermon, so I'm going to trust my instincts and go with him. 76 overall, quick development. I guess we reached, but he does have quick, which is awesome. I feel like this guy might have slow development just based on his combine grade, but I still think I'm going to select him. Dixon Jacobs. B press, B minus man, B minus zone. Doesn't look horrible. And if, you know, this guy is not very good, I have Cedric King here, who is probably pretty decent. But let's go with Jacobs. 77 overall in slow development. That is true. He did have slow. I will probably be taking that other guy now. Well, maybe not with my next pick, but at some point. With this pick, I'm going with Quadarius Butler. I'm probably going to be taking that corner with my next pick. I think that's the best plan here. But Quadarius Butler looks fantastic. 21 years old, B plus hit power, B pursuit, B minus zone with a very good combine. Let's go with him. 79 overall normal development. Very good player. He's probably going to start at free safety, which means I'll probably trade Tayshaun Gibson. Now with my 29th overall pick, I'm going to be selecting this corner, Cedric King. This guy's probably a lot better than the one we drafted, so maybe I can trade that corner we drafted. I don't know. 76 overall was slow. Okay, so they both have slow development. I'll probably start this guy, though, if I'm going to start one of them. This tight end looks phenomenal, so I'm going to be taking him now. Mason James, 7.1 combine grade. That is amazing for tight ends. B catching, B spec catch, C plus catch in traffic. This guy's going to be a starter. 75 overall with quick development. I might have to change like the scheme. Maybe it's not correct because he looks better than a 75. 86 speed, 83 catching, 83 spec, 79 catch in traffic, 89 acceleration. Even if he is a 75, he's still going to start. Chris Mastrud is going to probably come in and be my starting center. He does not have over a 6.0 combine grade, but he's still pretty strong and has really good top 3 skills. He is a 76 overall with quick development. Not bad at all. He is going to start. I'm not sure if I kept this part in the video, but I mentioned earlier that I might take this guy, Everett. He just, you know, has one of the best names I've seen, but he's not going to be very good. 4.72 speed is horrible. He's probably going to have like 82 or 83 speed. Whatever, let's just select him. 71 overall, slow development, man. I did not expect that guy to have slow. He's a very bad player. I pretty much knew that guy wasn't going to be good, but I just wanted to take him just because of his name. But Willis Dobbs is the next player I have on my draft board. I really don't think this guy's going to be great. He is not strong at all. I'm still going to select him. 74 overall, quick development. 79 strength is rather bad, but 75 run, 84 pass, 89 impact. Not terrible. Not sure if he's going to start, though. Matt Pilgrim. This is one of my favorite players in this draft. He has a very good skill set. B plus hit power, B plus pursuit, and B plus finesse move. I hope he has good block shed, and I hope he has good power move, because I want to slide this guy down to defensive end. I think he can translate pretty well there, but let's select him. 75 overall, superstar development. 76 block shed, 89 hit power, 86 finesse, 77 power moves. I think this guy can translate down to D-end pretty well. Robert Stanley is probably going to be another starter on this team. A minus hit power, B plus block shed, and B pursuit with a very good combine. He is probably going to take over for Perry Riley Jr. 76 overall, quick development, not bad. What is your zone all about? 74 zone coverage is actually pretty good too. My last pick in this draft is going to a right tackle. I really don't think this guy's going to be anything special, but I still want to select him. He's a 73 overall, quick development. He's not terrible. I really don't know if he'll start. Maybe he'll start over Jordan Mills. I'm not sure. I can't believe that went through so easily. I'm giving the 49ers Jordan Mills and Tayshaun Gibson for Allen Robinson. I'm making my life a little easier by trading for David Bakhtiari. I'm giving the Dolphins Perry Riley Jr. a second-round draft pick and Russell Bodine for him. This is what the team is going to look like heading into the second season. I definitely think we're upgraded. Sermon is now the quarterback. He went up to a 77 in the correct scheme. I have high hopes for this guy. Leonard Fournette's a 92. Allen Robinson's a 91. Sammy Watkins, Cooper Kupp both went up a little bit, I think. I really hope Cooper Kupp can play well again. Maybe he can make a Pro Bowl. This offensive line looks a ton better with David Bakhtiari anchoring that left side. Brandon Linder moved to the right tackle spot. Tardif is still the right guard. Birch and Mastrud are the starting, left guard and centers. I think Birch was a tackle who I shifted over to the left guard, and Mastrud was always a center. We also have this rookie tight end starting. He's a 77 overall. On the defense, Tony Jefferson and Butler make for the safety duo. Quadarius Butler, of course, our one first-round draft pick, I believe. He's pretty good. Chris Harris Jr., Bradley Roby, and Jacobs are going to be the starting corners. I know I said I'd start King out of the two, but looking at Jacobs' stats, they're really not that bad. He's actually really good. 82 man, 80 zone, 83 press. 91 speed is actually workable as well. Montez Burfict is still the right out. Brandon Marshall slid to left out, and Stanley, who was our one outside linebacker, moved to middle, where I think he can win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Pilgrim is starting at left end. He was, of course, the defensive, or the outside linebacker we drafted. Moved him down here. 78 overall. Jabal Sheard is still playing at right end, and then Jonathan Hankins and Sheldon Rankins are still the starting defensive tackles. I think this team might be able to sneak into the playoffs. Let's see what we're looking like at the midseason, though. We are 6-0-1 at the midseason mark, so technically we have not lost a game yet. The Jets are 5-2. Okay, they're actually doing really well. The Jaguars are 5-2. The Texans are 2-4-1. I'm assuming that's who we tied against. And the Titans are 2-5. The Chargers, we just beat them 35-28. Not bad. It's starting over here on the defense, but we have 8.8 thousand from Pilgrim, 5,000 for Butler, 6.4 thousand from Stanley. The quarterback has 10,000. Not bad at all. I'm not sure if I'm going to spend that. I think I'm going to wait because I'm pretty certain this guy has a really good chance of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. There we go, because there really weren't any, other notable quarterbacks. I don't really see that much more experience on this offense. I mean, Allen Robinson, 7.6 thousand is pretty good. Adam Shaheen is here to bring back. I am not going to do that because I have a pretty good tight end already. CJ Uzomah, not bringing him back. Daniel McCullers, Philip Dorsett, Jalen Collins, those guys can all go as well. We made the playoffs. We went 9-6-1. And the Jets went 9-7. That's actually who we took on at the midseason mark, I think. The Jaguars went 12-4, the Titans 5-11, and the Texans 4-11-1. Pretty happy we made the playoffs, even though we don't have a phenomenal record. 3-1 in the preseason. Beat the Redskins, did tie to the Texans, but look at the scores we're putting up in in these first 8 weeks. 51-10 against the Eagles, 42-42. That was the tie. 40-21, 42-34. Then we lost to the Jets and the Patriots. 1-2 more. Lost to the Cowboys, Jaguars. Got destroyed by the Bengals, and we lost to the Giants. But then we beat the Dolphins. If we would have lost that game against the Dolphins, I doubt we would have been in the playoffs. But Aaron Rodgers wins another MVP. Our quarterback has 4,647 yards, 42 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That is a great season. He definitely won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Leonard Fournette, 1,356 yards, 11 touchdowns, nearly 5 yards a carry. Much better from what he did last season. Allen Robinson, 1,297 yards, 13 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp gets over 1,000 yards again with 7. Sammy Watkins actually almost gets 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns. Mason James only gets 4. Blocking, 10 sacks led up from David Bakhtiari is pretty good. LaSalle Birch led up 7, Brandon Linder 3. Pretty good work there from the offensive line. 163 tackles from Robert Stanley. Almost said Ronnie Stanley. That's actually a really good season. 103 from Vontaze Burfict. Tackles for loss, we had 11 from Jonathan Hankins. Sacks, 12.5 from Matt Pilgrim. That's a lot. 9.5 from Jabal Sheard. Both good seasons from those guys. Interceptions, 4 from Vontaze Burfict. 3 from Dixon Jacobs, who's a rookie. 2 from Brendan Marshall, Robert Stanley, Chris Harris Jr., and Quadarius Butler, who is also a rookie. So a lot of the rookies seem to play pretty well. I like to see that. 2 touchdowns, 1 from Vontaze Burfict and 1 from Tony Jefferson. We were 7th in the NFL in offense. What about defense? We were 22nd, so our defense, I guess, got worse, but our offense got a lot better. Reed Sermon is number 4 for MVP. That is always great to see. I doubt there's even another rookie on this list, and that is exactly the case. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Rodgers, but Reed Sermon comes in 2nd. I don't think I'm going to see another Colt, but there are also no rookies, but Carson Palmer is on this list. Defensive Player of the Year, Robert Stanley comes in 3rd. That is nice to see. Nobody else from the Colts, but there are also no other rookies, I don't think. Patrick Onweiser makes it. I feel like he usually does. Reed Sermon did win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I did not mean to go right to Defensive Rookie of the Year, but you already saw who won that. Mason James came in 4th. Pretty good there. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Robert Stanley. My hand kind of slipped there. That's my fault. Pilgrim came in 2nd. That's not bad either, but we also have Dixon Jacobs and Quadarius Butler at number 8 and number 9. So we should have a lot of experience. Hope a couple guys made the Pro Bowl too. That would be awesome. 49,000 from the quarterback, 36,000 from Allen Robinson, 14K from Brandon Linder, a good amount from everybody else here on the offense too. And then on the defense, 33,000 from Stanley, 34,000 from Pilgrim. He made the Pro Bowl. Only 6.6 thousand from Jacobs. Was kind of hoping for a bit more, but I will spend this and I'll catch you guys up with the team. This team is so much better than it was just a couple minutes ago. Sermon's up to an 87, Leonard Fournette a 95. Allen Robinson in 93, Sammy Watkins in 85, Cooper Kupp in 84. This offensive line got a bit better. David Bakhtiari is up to a 98 overall. Mastrud's a 79, not bad. James went up to an 84. He went up 7 overall points. Then here on the defense, 87 overall for Stanley, 90 overall for Pilgrim, 82 over here for Butler is not too bad. This team's actually looking really good. Let's check out the overall, though. Against the Jets. Hopefully we can take them down. They are an 89, we are an 85, but I feel like that also might be without the upgrades. Let's see if we can still take them down. I'm not even sure who the Jets have, to be completely honest. Did we end up winning? We did lose. Let's check out this score. Hopefully we didn't get crushed. 27-24. That is a very, very close game. I kind of need a corner still. I mean, those rookies didn't really pan out that well last season, so I think I'm going to go with Leighton Barton. Pretty good looking corner here, 21 years old, good top 3 skills, and very, very good speed. I hope he doesn't have slow. 83 overall quick development. Okay, this is one of the best corners I have seen in a very long time. 21 years old makes this guy so good. With 96 speed, 85 man, 83 zone, 82 press. This guy is awesome. Casey Sutton is going to be my draft pick right now. He doesn't look phenomenal. I feel like he's like a 75 overall, but he does have superstar development, which is, you know, very enticing, and I want to select him here. 72 with superstar. I don't think this guy's going to start even though he has superstar. I really thought he was going to be at least a little better than that. So this guy looks amazing and he has superstar. This guy would make for a very, very good defensive tackle, and if he's better than Sheldon Rankins, I might start him. 71 overall, superstar development. I know why he is such a low overall. It's because I am in like a speed rusher or like balanced 4-3 scheme, and this guy's definitely not a 4-3 kind of guy. But 92 strength, 86 tackling is actually really good. 83 block shed as well. He has super low awareness and play rec, so that's probably also why his overall is so low. The last player I'm going to be selecting in this draft is a fullback. I might actually select another random running back up there, but I'm going to go with this guy, Anton Cartwright. I can't pronounce names right now. I'm just going to keep this guy as my starting fullback. Alright, let's select a random running back here. 4.39 speed. That is the fastest running back out of all of these guys. But I kind of trust this dude, maybe. He's pretty agile and has decent acceleration. He's 24 years old, though. I'm going to go with him. Douglas Allen, 67 overall. Okay, with my next draft pick, I'm going to select that super fast guy. And if neither of them are good, I can always just sign a backup because I'm really just selecting a backup running back at this point. I kind of want him just to be over a 70 overall. Raymond Pierce, let's go with him. 69 overall, 94 speed, though. Maybe he can be my kick returner. I'm giving the 49ers Sheldon Rankins a first and a third rounder for Deion Jones. So that defensive end we drafted went up to like a 79 at defensive tackle, but I was just looking at his stats, and he actually has like better stats than Sheldon Rankins in pretty much everything, aside from awareness and play rec. So I'm going to start that guy, and I feel like by the end of the year, he'll be higher than an 85. So Nico Siragusa is up to a 91. That's interesting, and I also don't know how this trade went through. I'm giving the Buccaneers Brandon Marshall straight up for Nico Siragusa. This is what the team looks like for potentially the final season. If I happen to like not make the playoffs or something, I will probably go another one, but I think this team will make the playoffs. Sermon is up to an 86 overall. I hope he can win like MVP or something this season. That would be awesome. Leonard Fournette's a 93. The wide receiver core is pretty much the same. This offensive line looks a lot better now that Siragusa is here. I'm surprised he's up to a 91, and he has superstar development, and I was able to trade for him with an 80 overall player, like an 82 overall player. That's kind of broken. But the rest of the offensive line looks very good as well. James is up to an 87 over there at tight end. Deion Jones went up to a 94 at left out. He also has superstar. Okay, Stanley's still staying at middle because he played very well there last season. Like I mentioned, I moved Keith to defensive tackle, and he actually has ridiculous stats. He just has really low play rec and awareness, but I think if he can have a decent year, he will go up probably to like an 86 overall. That's my guess. Pilgrim's an 89. We got Roby down here in the slot. Okay, yeah, that's what's going to happen because Barton is an 83. Forgot about that. He's ridiculous. I hope he can have a good season. Tony Jefferson and Butler still make up the rest of the secondary, and I definitely think this team can make it to the playoffs. I'll see you guys there. We got a first round bye, and Sermon did win MVP. What is the record looking like? 15-1. Oh man, the Jaguars were 10-6, the Texans were 7-9, and the Titans were 6-10. Who did we lose to? 2-2 in the preseason. We lost the opening game by 3 points. If our kicker missed a field goal, I am going to be absolutely livid. Okay, Cairo Santos was 1 for 1, and he made every single extra point. Oh my. So we lost by 3 points and then won every single other game. This game was 60-35. Our quarterback had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Leonard Fournette had 4 touchdowns and 7.3 yards per carry. Okay, this team is very, very good. Let's check out the stats, though. Sermon throws for over 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That is a ridiculous season. Leonard Fournette, 1,726 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5.5 yards a carry. That is ridiculous. Receiving 1,500 yards from Allen Robinson with 13 touchdowns. Mason James gets over 1,000 yards with 6 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp gets 10. Sammy Watkins only gets 3, but still not a horrible season. Blocking, 6 sacks from David Bakhtiari, and that was pretty much it. On the defense, 113 tackles for Robert Stanley. It's a lot less than what he had last season, but it's okay. 9 tackles for loss for Jonathan Hankins, 4 from Matt Pilgrim. We have 20.5 sacks from Jabal Sheard, 13.5 from Matt Pilgrim. Okay, really good seasons from those guys. 3 picks from Vontaze Burfict, Deion Jones, and Chris Harris Jr., 2 from Bradley Roby, and then a 1 from Robert Stanley, Leighton Barton, Dixon Jacobs, and Quadarius Butler. Actually, it's just Quadarius, not Quadarius. Check out touchdowns. We have at least 1. We got 1 from Robert Stanley. Okay, first in the NFL in offense. This is one of the best teams I've had in a bit, I think, too. And then we were first in defense as well. Okay, dominating. Our quarterback wins MVP. We already saw that. Leonard Fournette comes in 5th. Nobody else from the Colts, but that would be pretty cool if there was someone else. Jay Ajayi actually wins Offensive Player of the Year, even though Reed Sermon won MVP. Whatever, he comes in 2nd. Leonard Fournette comes in 4th. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jabal Sheard. Vontaze Burfict is in there at number 2. Robert Stanley is in there at number 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Raymond Pierce. I think that's a running back. I honestly have no clue who that is. Cartwright comes in 7th. I'm not sure who that is either. I think he's our fullback, actually. I do remember that. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Leighton Barton comes in 3rd. Terrell Keith comes in 6th. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me, not NFL records. Let me check out the rest of those stats. I forgot that's what I normally do. AFC, best quarterback. It goes to Reed Sermon. Of course it does. Aaron Rodgers comes in 2nd. We ended his, MVP streak. Jay Ajayi wins the best running back award. Leonard Fournette comes in 2nd, though. Best wide receiver goes to Allen Robinson. We got Cooper Kupp in there at number 9. Best O-lineman, David Bakhtiari, Brandon Linder, Nico Siragusa, and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. I think the only one we are missing is our center. Best D-lineman goes to Jabal Sheard. That's pretty cool. Matt Pilgrim makes it at number 9 as well. Vontaze Burfict is in there at number 3 for best linebacker. Best defensive back, Chris Harris Jr. did not make it. And then best kicker goes to Cairo Santos. It actually doesn't. It goes to Harrison Bucker. Meant to say Cairo Santos is in there at number 2. My fault. Well, let's check out the experience. I'm sure we have a ton. This quarterback should have almost like 50,000, I'm guessing. 58,000. Superstar development from that as well. He made it to his 2nd Pro Bowl. I'm sorry, my computer just made a noise. I apologize if you heard that. And of course, he got quarterback of the year. Leonard Fournette, 36,000. Allen Robinson, 25,000. Cooper Kupp, 19,000. 45K from the center. 21,000 from this guard. From this tight end. 17K from the guard. 17K from the other guard. Ridiculous amounts here on the defense. 15K right there. 15K for Keith. 13,000 from Barton, 13,000, 16K. This is a whole lot of experience to spend. Here is a look at this team. Sermon's up to a 93. Leonard Fournette is a 98. This wide receiver core is a lot better now. This O-line is fantastic. 92 overall for the center. Now Laurent Duvernay-Tardif is our lowest overall offensive lineman, and he's still very good. James is up to a 93 on defense. 90 overall for Stanley. Only an 81 for Keith. He did not go up as well as I thought he was going to. But that's okay. To be fair, I actually didn't even upgrade him. I usually upgrade the first bunch of guys and then I auto-upgrade the last season. The first couple years I will do everyone, but the last season I usually just let the computer do it for most of these players. Chris Harris went down a bit. I think that's just because he's getting older. Barton's an 86. Burfict's a 91. Jefferson's still an 85. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Deion Jones is a 95. This team is really good. Let's check out the overall. I feel like we're going to be like a 95? Maybe a 96? I'm not sure if we're going to eclipse 95 yet. Let's see. We are in 92. Alright, that's actually a lot lower than I thought. Whatever. 90 overall, though, for the Ravens. We should be able to take this team down if you're just looking at the records. 15-1 compared to a 9-7 record. Did we win? We did. We have to take on the 13-3 Steelers. I wonder if they're still as cheesy, in a fantasy draft as they are in, non-fantasy drafts. We'll see if we make it to the Super Bowl. We actually lost to the Steelers. Okay. That's a bit annoying. Maybe they are still as cheesy, even though they don't have the same team. 42-14 against the Ravens, and then 38-31 against the Colts. Both of our playoff losses came by 1 possession, I think. Pretty sure last year we lost 27-24. But that is going to conclude this rebuild. I think this one was very successful. We got a bunch of cool players on this team. We drafted some studs. I'm pretty sure most of the players we drafted, in that first draft are like over a 90 overall now. Let me think. So we got Sermon here, who's over a 90. Mastrod's over a 90. James is over a 90. And then on defense, our middle linebacker is a 90 with confidence. Pilgrim is over a 90. I mean, he's exactly a 90 with confidence. There's a couple guys that didn't really pan out too well, like Jacobs or that other corner, or those other offensive linemen we drafted. Butler is only an 84. But still, I think this team was pretty awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.